welcome back to my channel. Got a little itch, It's your girl Brianna. This makeup look I did. I have a video for I have a makeup tutorial, and I have I think I put when I was putting my wig on, I'm not sure. So I have a makeup tutorial on this look. If I keep looking up, it's because I'm looking in the mirror. I gotta make sure I look straight. I don't know how YouTubers be on YouTube and they can't look at themselves. Like I have to see myself because I don't want nothing to be on my face. So we're gonna talk about how my best friend let my boyfriend make a pass on her, and she took the pass and she went. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do my under eye because I'm not liking the way that it's looking with no under eye. I'm just not feeling it. So I'm gonna do a quick little under eye. Hopefully it looks good. So I met this boy in food class my sophomore year. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. That I met in food class sophomore year because that is important stamp on my life. So I met him in foods class sophomore year, and me and him was like, they met each other through me. So me and him was like real serious. Like we was very serious. In high school, as serious as it gets in high school, the most serious it could ever be in high school is the serious that we was. So he breaks up with me. We still always break up. And sometimes we end up, well, we always end up breaking up and always ended up making up. So this is one of our breakups. We haven't broken up for a day. I was heartbroken over him. He got broke up with me out of nowhere. Like, I think I had not been to school because I had bronchitis or whatever. So he just broke up with me. I was just like, I'm confused. Like, I kept calling because I didn't know what went wrong in our relationship. Like, I didn't know, like, he just broke up with me out of nowhere. Hold on, y'all. He just broke up with me out of nowhere. So I'm all heartbroken. I'm at home. I'm sick. Like, I had bronchitis bad. He knew I had bronchitis bad. I was crying. I was coughing. My mom was just like, why would he do that? Like, he knew you sick and he gonna do that to you. What mamas do. So I ended up feeling better. Went to school. So we have this thing. Mind you, the friend that I'm talking about, I will call her. I don't know if I would call her. We would be texting. We'd be talking about how heartbroken I was and stuff like that. And he did this and he did that. And she would be like, I got you, boo. Like, don't worry about him. I got you. I'm going to be there for you. And for the most part, no. For the most part, she wasn't, because she did the shit she did. I gotta stop sticking up for these fake ass bitches. So what happened? It came, I was there in the morning. She gave me a hug. She was like, don't cry. Don't let him see you cry. This, and that. Like, just being like usually what friends do in that situation. So I'm like, okay. She got me. Lunchtime come around. Everybody in the school has the same lunch because we had this thing called hot lunch. So I don't know why. I'm not even going nowhere. I don't know why I'm trying to fake this look. So we had this thing called hot lunch, and I was by myself that whole lunch period because I'm like, I used to hang out with him all the time. Like, I used to be with him every lunch, but he dumped me, so it was like I couldn't be with him. Plus, he had went off campus. You could go off campus. You were a sophomore. I mean, you were a junior, so you could go off campus. So at this time, we was juniors. He was a senior. Yeah. So it was the beginning of the school year. So everybody had their little pass or whatever. So she went off. I was like, they was like, oh yeah, we're gonna call her Fallon. Fallon had went off campus. I'm like, well, who's she going on? I was confused. I didn't know who the fuck she went off campus with because I didn't know anybody she knew that could go off campus. The only person that I knew that she knew could go off campus was my baby. Well, I just gave it away. My baby daddy is the dude I'm talking about. He was my baby daddy at the time. We didn't have any kids at the time. So was like my baby daddy and his friends. So I'm like, I didn't think I didn't think they was cool like that, so I didn't think that she was gonna go with him. So I think my eyelash just started coming up. I fucking hate these eyelashes. They're pretty, but they're too. So it did start coming up. So I'm like, actually, I did know they had started texting because I used to be like, I used to get in the car. He used to not pay attention to me because he used to be texting her, and I used to be like, "What are you what are you texting? Like, what are you doing? Like, this, and that." He used to be like, "Oh, I'm texting back." Da, da, da. They would text all the time to where I felt like I told him like I feel like I was like, you're doing too much. Like you're texting her and you're not paying any attention to me. But me being young minded and me being like, oh, that's my best friend, and this is a boyfriend that I had been with for a long time. I'm thinking like they would never do that shit to me. So I'm like, I brushed it off. Then he broke up with me. It didn't even dawn on my mind that that's the reason why he broke up with me until a little bit later. So, I had found out that they went out off campus together, and I kind of was blown away. I didn't say nothing. I was like, oh, you went with him? I was like, oh, damn. I was like, well, I was like lonely or whatever. Bitch didn't give a fuck. Maybe she did at the time, but she didn't. He ain't say nothing. So time went past, and I just was like, me and him, like, we started back talking again, not on a romantic level, but just like on a friends level, because we wasn't beefing. Because of me and him beef, we used to beef hard. Like, we used to be about to fight beef. So still to this day, when we beef hard. So alright, that's fixed. Let me stop sniffling because that shit can get annoying. So I'm like kind of confused, whatever. Now I'm side eyeing. Once I get like a little bit of a clue, I start to side eye the fuck out of shit. Like I be coming up with like crazy scenarios that don't have nothing to do with the situation in my head. So I'm like, it was like like, are y'all want to be together? So I had some time had went past or whatever, and we was all supposed to be going to a party. Now she was supposed to be there or whatever, and he was supposed to be there. I was supposed to go with him, whatever. And she hits me up and she's like, oh, I have something to tell you, but I really don't want to tell you. And I'm like, what? I already knew what she had to tell me. I thought she was gonna tell me they fucked. So I'm glad she didn't tell me that because I would have fought her. And I would have fought his ass. So she was like, I got something to tell you, but I don't want to tell you. And I was like, just tell me, like, just tell me. So she ended up telling me, sent me long ass paragraphs. She was like, I'm sorry, me and him started talking, like, I like him and he likes me, and when we went off campus, he asked me to show him my nipple piercing, and when I showed him, he like kind of licked my nipple, like he was tickling me, whatever. Like he was just like, he was flirting with her, and they had been texting. He had been telling her, he had been trying to get her to come over his house and things like that. So I'm like, you bitch. Mind you, I didn't just get mad at her. I was like, you're a bitch. Like, you really are a bitch. And I was like, are you serious? Like, you're supposed to be my best friend. So after I talked to her, I talked to him. I was like, you really not shit. Like, you over here making it seem like you want to be with me and you going to get back together and you want to be with her. And he was like, no, I don't want to be with her. Like, I did like her a little bit, but you know I love you and this, and that. So at this point, I went out my room and I started crying. My mom was like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And I was just telling my mom, I was like, Mommy, like, I don't have nobody in high school. Like, she messed with him and they did this, and that. And my mom was livid because, mind you, these were the only two people that I hung out with in high school. They had both came. My parents had met both of them. Like, we used to hang out all the time and stuff like that. So my mom was like pissed off because I was like, how could they do that to you? So my mom was like, give me her phone. So my mom started calling her because I guess my mom, I don't remember why my mom started calling her. Like, my mom wasn't trying to, I think my mom was trying to talk to her mom because my mom didn't want it to be no drama because my mom know how I am. Like, it could get to the point where we get into a fight. Like my mama just was like, well, I don't want you fighting in school, and anybody would want to fight over some shit like that. So my mom was like, I just want to talk to her. I just don't want drama like this and that. So of course she didn't answer the phone. So my mama, he used to work at Arby's. So my mama went up to Arby's and she pulled up on him. And she was like, why would you do that to my daughter? Like, don't do that. Like, that's messed up. And don't just, I don't even, I wonder if he remembers what she said. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to ask him if he remember what she said. But she just said some stuff pulled off. She pulled up to the drive-thru window and everything. My mama do not play about her kids. Like, she really don't. So she pulled up to the drive-thru window and everything. So they were both mad at me. They was like, your mama tripping, this, and that. She was like, you tripping, like you called me a bitch or whatever, And I was like, you know what? This is the biggest mistake I ever made. Like, I don't know why the fuck. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry for calling you a bitch. Like, we can apologize. We can sit down. We can talk about it. She was like, I'm sorry for doing this, and that. Like, you really are my best friend. Like, I don't want him, this, and that. I'm sorry for doing this, and that. I want to be with you. Like, I don't want to be with her. But with him, I had already felt like I was your second choice. Like, I felt like you only wanted to be back with me because she didn't want to be with you. And I was like that for a long time. Like, I was like that for months. Like, I felt like I was the second option for months. I don't remember when I felt like I was the first option. Shit, I know I'm the goddamn first option now. But I mean, this is years later. So I felt like a second option for a while. That really took like a punch to my confidence because it was like, I really felt like I didn't have nobody in high school. Like, how y'all going to just, like, how y'all just going to do that? How y'all just going to drop me and do that? And I'm not a bad person, mind you. I looked out for both of them. Every time she came over my house, she never had to worry about anything. Like, and that with him, I was always a loyal girlfriend to him. Like, I never did no, at that time, I had never did no fuck shit with him. Like, we hadn't, it wasn't nothing like that. So I just was confused on why they would do that to me. So time goes past. Me and him get back together. Me and her stop talking. We're not friends. I just felt like she wasn't really remorseful. Like, she wasn't that sorry. Like, she just really didn't give a fuck. Me and her did end up being friends again. But the time we wasn't talking because I just felt like she didn't give a fuck. And I felt like he was remorseful. Like, he was like, I'm sorry. And plus, after that, I was 16 at this time. So, plus, after that, it was like a week after that, I found out I was 16 and pregnant. So, I mean, like, I had to kind of stop dealing with that situation with her, and I had to deal with being 16 and pregnant. Like, and she probably was like, oh, she chose him over me. Shit, maybe I did, but I mean, shit. While y'all was doing what y'all doing, I was goddamn pregnant. Like, I didn't know it at the time, but a week or two later, I had found out that I was pregnant. So at that time, it was no like, oh, well, I don't want to be with you. At that time, I was like, well, let me figure out what I'm going to do. So, yeah, that's the story of how my best friend and my boyfriend did some shit behind my back. It's a very short story, but it's very influential in my life because I never brought no other friend around him after that. Only friend that was ever around him was my god sister, and my god sister did live in North Carolina, and number two, my god sister would never ever do anything like that to me. Like, that is my blood. That she might as well be my blood. She would never do nothing like that to me. So yeah.